What's going on, everybody? It's Brendan or B Wheels Plays here with my fourth episode of my Let's Play as Spain in the game of Europa Universalis 4. That was a bit of a tongue twister. Now, where I left you guys off last, I had made my first couple of land grabs against the countries of Granada and Morocco, while also simultaneously being at war with Tlemcen, who is actually currently fighting with Tunis and God knows who I can't speak. But anyways, what I'm planning to do in these next couple of videos is consolidate my power after my recent land grabs, let some of the aggressive expansion towards other Muslim nations die down a little bit, and then either, because England is currently getting on my nerves with harassing me with, if I can see them, I cannot, but they have privateers stealing trade from me, which are basically, if I can find my own, basically these trade ships, you can either just protect trade, which increases your income, or you can privateer another person's trade, which steals from them, doesn't give you nearly as much income, but if they're a rival of yours, increases this power projection, which helps you at 25 get an extra general without the upkeep of losing these monarch points. As you can see, I have 2 out of 2 leaders. If I had another one, it'd be 3 out of 2, and I'd only be getting a monthly increase of +2. So it helps you with that to keep you from going over that limit, and in addition, once you hit 50 power projection, you gain +1 monarch points across each section. So I would be +8, +5, and +4, as opposed to what I'm at right now. Now, I will either deal with them, which will allow me to call in France once they recover from whatever their last war was. Looks like it was probably with England, actually, or maybe Austria, I'm not certain. But let them recover, go to war with them. They shouldn't be too much of a power I should worry about, because they can only deploy X amount of soldiers, and me, Portugal, and, well, actually, before I say Portugal, so me, Portugal, and France. I was just checking to see if they were allied with England like they normally are. We should be able to easily deal with whatever troops they can land, and their minor allies of Brittany, and I believe it was Leinster. Leinster shouldn't be able to really do too much to us, whereas France is allied with us, Aragon, Scotland, and the Papal States, but I don't see the Papal States joining because obviously they're in Italy, in addition to being... Are they in a war of their own? In addition to being in a war of their own, so they certainly wouldn't join anyways. But that would allow me to lock France up in a war with England, who shouldn't be too hard of a customer, because whatever they can land in my territory or in France is going to get dealt with by either me, Portugal, or France. While also simultaneously then going to declare war on Aragon, because they only have Ferrara, which is right here, this little green stretch of land, to help them out. France would normally help them out, but as I stated in the last video when I created this alliance, they will not if they're already in a separate war with me, because, as I'm sure you can imagine, you can't be at war with somebody on their side and then be at war with them against them. It just doesn't work that way. So it would allow me to then just go and take Aragon on by myself, and as I'm the bigger power, and they are also spread out across several areas of Europe, it shouldn't be too big of a war. And well, it'll be a decent war, but it shouldn't be too hard of a slog. And I can gain these 2 provinces, which are going to be my 2 war goals. I'm actually currently building up my spy network for this one. And I can either move into Italy from there by going through Sicily, or I could possibly move into Italy by going through Corsica, or through Sardinia into Corsica, or just declare war on them through there and maybe get one of these areas. Now, this is smart, because this is probably one of the top 3, maybe top 5 trade nodes in the game, and it would allow me to jump straight into it and get the best province while also simultaneously securing this province in the war with Aragon. And if I switch my strategy up, maybe this one as well, and then I just try to grab one half of the island to continue. We shall see on that front, but for now, I'm going to start playing out the game. Now here is a random event here. Let me look at my two options. So either way, I'm going to lose some stability, which is not a good thing. That's going to be a waste of administrative power. And I can either get better at converting, which, since I only own Sunnis, or the main faith of Muslims, they're one of the hardest to convert. I don't think that 1% bonus is going to allow me to convert these two provinces much faster than 256 months. But I could also get minus 5% technology cost. Now, while I'll have to spend some administrative points repairing my stability, with the negative 5% modifier, even with that loss, I'll probably be just as close to getting this level as I am right now. So that'll be the move here. Oh wait. So the clergy will be a little bit upset with me, but let me see if there's not something I can do about that. Oh wow. Okay, well, that's a bit of an investment, but it'll be worth it. Don't want a bunch of rebels. Now, is there something? It doesn't look like there's anything I can do to just raise it, so I will have to find a good tax province to hand to them, and that should be enough to get them back on my side. Yeah, see, it'll increase their loyalty back above 40%. So that's a good move. Might lower my income slightly. I didn't actually pay attention to this part. When you assign clergy, they increase tax income, and let's say this province was Sunni, it would also allow me to convert it a lot easier, but it's not, so it's probably just going to lower how much I make, because it'll lower the production I make, and that might offset the tax increase. So as I said, that is definitely my plan for wars, but because I haven't progressed but maybe 5.5 months since the last video, which is not a lot of time, I still have to wait a while for these cores to finish up anyways before I even contemplate going to war, in addition to slowly increasing my manpower again. Since I only get about 246 each month, that should be only about, let's see here, rough guesstimate 3,000 or so a year, meaning I have quite a long time to get to the maximum. So I might actually have to find an easier war to start me off, which would probably be Tunisia if they don't lose this war that they're in right now. My guess is they're going to lose this war that they're in right now. But if they don't, hopefully they take a couple of provinces, even just this one right here, will put them within my C zone to where I can then claim that province and have a reason to actually go to war with them. And that will allow me to move into this trade node, which should be a lot easier to control than most. It looks like it only has 2 points. Wait, I think that's Alexandria, yeah. Looks like it only has 2 points that I need to control to basically own this trade node, and that will feed directly into, I'm sure I could look into it, it'll probably feed into this one that's in this area, which will then feed into mine, making me a lot more trade money. Now, it looks like I'm already ready to claim a province here. Nope, I'm an idiot. I claimed one not long ago. I don't know how these mechanics work, but normally it only requires 20 points, but since I claimed one not too long ago, it'll actually require 25. I don't know how that works. Let's see here. So, I also picked up them as an ally, but I've been kind of courting Florence as well, as you can see by me improving our relations. So what I'm also going to do is send this next diplomat to the Papal States here, because that has a couple of bonuses. Now, by improving relations, even if I don't ally with Florence, which I do plan on doing once I freed up a Diplo slot, if I can talk here, by annexing them in 1456, then I can make them an ally, and I'll have 2 in Italy. But even if I don't, that improves their relations, so when I do move into Italy, they won't be very mad at me compared to maybe some of the countries I haven't improved relations with. And then with the Papal States, not only does it do that, but in this little Papal influence papacy type of deal, you get, as you can see, a certain modifier based on the Papal State's opinion of you, so I'll get more Papal influence a year. Now, I suck at playing the Curia controller game, whatever you want to call it. I'm not good at it. So while it has plenty of benefits that you can see here that are extremely, wow, they are way better than they used to be. I haven't paid attention to this since when I first started playing the game, and they've actually made this a very, very, very good thing to control. But what I was going to say is, what I normally do is I just take my Papal influence, I let it build up to 50, and I get this modifier, which increases my tax income by 15% for 20 years. And then I usually try to get this one as well, because it makes vassalizing people, is that even a word? It makes vassalization? It means you can just easily go and diplomatically vassalize. I'm just gonna, yeah, we're gonna run with that word. Diplo-vassal thing, countries like this. So that'll help with that, and then it also just makes it easier to get alliances. It keeps people from joining coalitions. You have to really conquer a lot to offset their opinion of you. But once I've done these two things, every single time until those events pop back up again 20 years down the line, you're going to want to increase your mercantilism with this Papal influence. And what that does is it pretty much just makes you dominate and monopolize trade a lot easier than without. So you make more money overall. As I get more land and I take more centers of trade, it'll just increase my dominance over those and make me more money. Slowly, it'll build up, but that is definitely what you want to do. Maybe one day it'll fall into my hands and I'll actually start investing my influence in keeping the Curia under my control, but that is extremely unlikely because pretty much every AI nation, I'm assuming, is hard-coded to invest their influence in trying to gain control of the Curia as opposed to getting those little boosts. So this is just basically telling us that people are trying to spy on us, to claim provinces or do what they want to do. Who knows, maybe steal maps, or that wouldn't make sense because they can see what I can see, but do various things, and we caught them. So now, like with this, oh, actually one of them was us being caught. So I'm going to really quickly claim Alicante, because since he was caught, he's not going to gain any spy network power, and he's only going to lose it. So at least he caught me at 25, where I could still claim the next province. Now normally I'll only claim provinces to obviously have a reason to go to war, but in this case I want to claim this because if you do unjustified demands, like let's say I only had the claim on this area and I seized this area, I believe it would affect my diplomatic power for making that peace. It would take a certain percentage of it and just pretty much waste it. But now that I have a claim, if I only take these two provinces and maybe one, maybe two over here, I should only have a very, very, very small amount of monarch points to pay for those areas, other than just with this coring them, which is important because, let me show you guys here. My leader starts off with the worst possible stats for mana power gain possible, and he's extremely young, meaning that unless he dies on the battlefield, which I should make him a general in my armies, he's going to be here for a while.